Welcome back again to 3D Drawing for your Model Railway and the Plasser and Theurer DTS series. Again, I'm going to be continuing to work along the underframe. I'm going to be adding some detailing in this area here. If we look at some of the photos I've got this unit here with a couple of small guide wheels on. It's going to be quite small and flimsy, so I'm going to draw more a representation of it. You know, we've got the uprights coming down and across, so they're the main parts that are going to hold it. These bits are again they're too small to print, but I will be drawing these uprights with something in between realistically that could come across and looks like it a little bit. Probably not two parts coming across, maybe just the one ram coming across. And you see you've got the hydraulic rams on both sides. Again, I'm not drawing them as rams there. I don't think that these bits are thick enough. We're just going to be drawing smaller representations of this unit that sits in here. And as I said, it sits within this area. Obviously, the primary concern when I'm doing this is going to be the swing of the bogie and rotation, making sure that it's not going to be getting too close to it. We'll be producing it as a separate component initially, and then we can potentially maybe combine it as one, but I think it's going to be better as a separate component, so it's going to print a little bit better and be a bit more supported underneath. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the top, create a new component. I'm going to name this number 1 end guide wheel. Again, I don't know the exact name for these, I don't know what they do, so I'm just going with something that gives me some sort of idea as to what it is, where it's going to be located. So now we've got this component created, we're going to make sure the radio button's checked. We're going to rotate and come underneath and draw in this area on the bottom of the chassis. Okay, so looking at primary shapes, okay, so what am I going to have? I'm going to have this beam coming down, and we can see it's offset from the air reservoirs we were drawing on the last lesson. I'm just going to draw like an arm that comes down sort of in this area here. So I'm going to put a rectangle. It's inboard slightly from the edge. So I'm going to go sort of this sort of area. I'm going to go for maybe a 0.8mm square. Define the distance from there. Let's go to the light, that's probably the easiest. We'll call that 8mm. And the distance from the edge, in fact, I can use constraint for that. I'm going to constrain horizontally, vertically to that corner there, and it will snap it across so it's the same height out as the light there. Okay, so I'm going to extrude this downwards. Now let's try and work out a height that we need to come down. So we're below the air tank there. Let's see if we've got another side on view here. This one's probably best. It's sort of in line with where the top of the axles are. So it can come down. That's the top of the axle there. So we're going to be sort of looking at 3mm. We want it to be a new body because obviously it's going to be in a new component. If it was to join, it would try and join onto the chassis there. Okay, so we've created that initial beam coming down. So now if we look at the shape, we're looking at this part here, we're coming inboard. It's at a slight angle. Do I want to do that? Probably should. So we're going to be going inboard, coming inwards this direction. So I'm going to just rotate this round. I'm going to draw on the back face here. I'm going to draw a rectangle. Again, I'm just going to go for a 0.8 square. Okay, let's try extruding. I don't know if we can extrude at an angle. I don't know if taper angle might be one to use. No, that makes it bigger. Okay, so we're gonna go with that square there, and then what I'm going to do is finish that sketch. I'm then going to create an offset plane from that face. Okay, how far in do we need to go? Let's have a look. This direction. So rotate it round. Turn the bogey off so I can see what I'm looking at. I'm going to come in I'm going to go for about 3mm. Rotate back round. So we've got the square there. I'm going to draw on that plane that we've just created. I'm going to create another rectangle. I'm going to be off to the side of it slightly, so sort of like this. Going again 0.8 square to be the same dimensions. Does it go downwards slightly? Yes, it does. So we want to be down slightly. So I'm going to do that corner to that corner. So we can get this. So I'm going to be 0.3 distance there, and height. I'm going to go for 2.4. See what that does. Yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is finish that sketch, and I'm going to loft between those two faces. That creates that inboard angle that we're looking at there. Actually, wait a minute, have I gone the wrong way on that? Yes, possibly I have. I possibly need to move this across further, and that actually looks like it comes towards the air tank. Not a big deal. So let's do back and change that. We want to be looking at this sketch here. Edit that sketch. We're going to move this further across. So let's look at 9.5mm. So 9.5 from that light. And then I'm going to change this sketch, edit that one. Let's delete that dimension there. Drag this across like that. Don't want angle, thank you. Dimension there to there. Stop after. 1.3. Finish. Okay, so now we can see that's going the correct way. It's slanted inboard towards the air tanks that we drew on the last lesson. That then has a piece coming down and across that goes to what looks like a beam that goes across between the two wheels. So we can spin this round, create I'm going to put an extrusion on this face. In fact, I don't even want to sketch it. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to extrude this face inboard slightly. I'm going to go for 0.8mm, and then I can extrude that bottom surface downwards 0.8mm again. I'm just sort of creating something that looks like that shape. Down, diagonally in and down. And it's going to have a beam that comes across to this wheel that goes across. But we will have to sort that wheel's position out. We might need to move this again a little bit further. Okay, so now we've got that, let's think about creating the wheels. Now we've got those wheels already created on here. So if we do look into that, we can find construction plane. That's going to be the number 1 plane. It's going to be the position that we have got the wheels on. So create a sketch on that plane. And then we're going to use a center point circle. So you can see it's going to be pretty much the same design wheel. I'm going to draw it. I want it to be, actually, let's project that circle. And then I can know that I'm going to have it at the same height. Okay, so diameter I'm going to go for 1.8. And then I'm going to extrude it inboard to extrude it to actually that surface there. Okay, and then spin this round. I'm going to draw on the back surface, slightly bigger circle for the flange. So we know we've got 1.8, so let's go for 2 millimeters. 2.2 millimeters, probably okay. Select those two profiles, extrude those inwards to the same height as the back of the flange on that one. And if we look on this wheel, we've got an inward extrusion on there, so we can create a sketch on that. Just offset that circle, go minus 0.3, let's go 0.2, get a little bit smaller, and then we'll create a circle on the inside that's 0.3, that's a bit small, 0.5, and then we can select this profile that's between them, inwards minus 0.4. We've then got that look as if we've got the same on this wheel. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to spin the wheel around, I'm going to create a sketch on the inside surface. I'm going to use a center point rectangle for this. Find the midpoint. I'm going for 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. I want a bit of strength on this coming across. I'm going to extrude it initially, but then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to just jump and mirror this feature across. I'm going to mirror the wheel. Let's find the body for the wheel actually. Bottom. I'm going to be doing the mirror on the bodies, selecting body 2 as the wheel. Mirror plane, we want that mid plane again, so that's plane number 1, so we've got it on both sides. And then I'm going to go back in, no, I'm going to extrude that rectangle. I'm going to bring it across to meet up with the back of that rectangle. Two of them can join, that's fine. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to draw on the back of this face here. Let's slice through to it and create a rectangle 0.8 by 0.8. I'm going to finish the sketch. It hasn't done anything with it, so if I just hold down the left mouse button, I can select the profile and then extrude, and I'm going to extrude to that surface there. I'm not going to let it join. I don't want it to join this one. So if I actually turn that body off, so it's joined there, that will all be joined to one. Okay, and then I'm going to mirror this across as well. Mirror that body, so it's body 1, again on plane 1's profile. Click on OK. So we've got that on both sides. Scroll back to the bottom, turn on that wheel section, and then we can combine body 1, which is the down pipe, the wheel section, and then the other one we've done on the other side. Okay, that is going to be really delicate, unfortunately, but yeah, we're just going to have to live with it, I think. Okay, so now we've got this piece to come across. Let's have a look at this side. So we've got, comes all the way across and then upwards. What I'm thinking is maybe we need to create a plate on the top surface here just for support. See how we go. Let's have a look. So this is just an upright, and I'm going to draw a beam coming across towards it. So, I want it to be slightly in front of this one. So I'm going to rotate to the right hand side, and I'm going to create a sketch on the bottom of this cross member that we've just drawn, snapping into the corner, which I'm going to be happy with. I'm going to go 0.8 by 0.8. So it's in the top corner, and then I'm going to extrude that. how far do we need to come across? So probably looking at 3-4 millimeters maybe. I'm actually probably going to go 5. Let's have a look with a bogey on. So I'm thinking that might be enough room there if I come by 4 point. Let's go 4.5. Just give it a little bit extra room, and then I'm going to draw an upright from the top of this to the top of the chassis. Slice through it. So you can see how it's drawing on this part here. I'm just going to create 0.8 by 0.8 and then finish that sketch actually. Let's spin this round so we can look back at it. So you can see the profiles there. I'm going to extrude to the chassis floor, and I'm going to turn the chassis off so it doesn't join. Click on OK, so it's joined to this part of the chassis. And then I'm going to mirror these again over. So create mirror those features. So that one and that one. Mirror plane will be number 1. Okay, hopefully that's not going to do anything like move this top surface across. Nope. Why is this? Sorry, wait a minute. Let me just have a look underneath. No, that's fine. Okay. Now, what I'm thinking to help print this and make it a little bit more sturdy is create a plate on the top for it to sit on. Because these two could be just a little bit weak by themselves printing like that. We've got hydraulic ram coming upwards here. Let's have it, I think it's on the other side. Yeah, it's inbound. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a plate on the top. So if I turn everything else off above it, and create a sketch. I'm just going to select any one of these top surfaces here. You can see I've flipped this around. I'm going to use a rectangle, and I'm going to go create a plate from that corner. I want it to come across. Actually, I might have to project that point, and that point, just so that I can snap to some points there. So that one, I want to be snapped in line with that one as well. So I'm going to constrain that, so that side to that point, that side to that point. Then I'm going to select all of these profiles there. I'm actually going to extrude downwards, not upwards, because I don't want to go up into the chassis. I'm going to come down, minus 0.3, and make sure it's a join. Let's turn these parts back on, and the chassis back on. So you can see there's a small plate there, but it doesn't stand out too much. But again, we're just looking to fill that in with some detail that's within this area. You know, we could start adding these little bits, but again, you're going to be going into parts that aren't going to print. All these little pipes, just, they won't print well enough, so there's no point really. And you know, some of the shapes that are going on at the back here, it's just not worth it. It's not going to be seen. So I'm going to leave it with that, I think, for that part. Let's see what we've got there. Okay, so I think I'm going to finish this video at this point. You know, it's taken about 20 minutes or so to draw that part in, and you know, it's starting to fill in the underframe quite nicely. And yeah, it's going to be quite a unique model, I think, when we finish. So Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, make sure you're notified when the next videos go online. Thanks for watching.